All right, welcome to our channel, TOC in the Scripts. I'm your brother, Captain Messiah, and I know some of you might be new here, but that's all right. I want to welcome you. We're about to get into some things. All right, so Passover. We're going to get into the fundamentals. What is it? How do you celebrate it? Do we have to keep it? I'm going to break down 5 simple fundamentals for you to know, all right? Right after this. So, what is Passover? I know some of you might have heard of it, and you're thinking to yourself, wait, is it something we have to celebrate? For some of you, you already celebrate it, but I'm going to break down these 5 things that you need to know. Number 1, what is Passover? So the Passover is an ancient Israelite custom or feast day that we commemorate every year. Now we're going to get into a scripture so you can understand what this Passover is all about. Exodus chapter 12 verse 13. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. So what you have to understand is the Most High God, Yahweh, he sent the death angel to smite the Egyptians, and he told the Israelites, our forefathers, to put that blood upon their doorposts so the death angel would pass over them and not smite them. Here's the second thing you need to know about the Passover: its importance and its significance. Let's read a key scripture. Exodus chapter 12 verses 24 and 25. And you shall observe this thing as an ordinance to you and your sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he has promised, that ye shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshiped. Well, I'm not sure about you. When I just read a verse that said, even when your children ask you, what does this service mean? And we're commanded to tell them, it is an ordinance that we observe forever. So it's very important. Now here's the third thing that you need to know about the Passover. Do we have to keep it today? Let's see what the scriptures say. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 12 and verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast unto the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. Forever. I'm not sure about you, family, but when I hear that word forever, I take it serious. All right, here's the 4th thing you need to know about the Passover. How do we keep it? How do we observe it? Exodus chapter 12 and verse 15. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. Even the first day shall you put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. It's a very important thing. You follow it the way that the Most High told you to celebrate it. He told you to remove all the leaven from your houses. Now, leaven is going into rising agents. Leaven is that thing that goes into cookies, bread. It's what makes the dough rise. So remove all of the leaven out of your house before the Passover actually starts. So as you can see, the scripture says you eat unleavened bread for the next 7 days. It's called the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And like the scripture says, you eat no leaven for the next 7 days, and you make sure you eat unleavened bread every day for the next 7 days. Now, in case you were wondering, can you eat cookies and bakes and treats and cakes? Of course you can. But here's the thing, make sure they contain no leaven. So after you've removed all of the leaven out of your house, now it comes to the lamb. So now we were instructed, or commanded rather, to eat the lamb for the Passover. Let's go to the scriptures. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 3. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. Verse 8. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast it with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Verse 9. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs and with the purtenance thereof. And you shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning you shall burn with fire. We're supposed to eat the Passover lamb that we were commanded to prepare with bitter herbs, unleavened bread, and it's not supposed to be sodden at all with water. It means you're not supposed to stew it. You're not supposed to mix it with gravy. It's not supposed to have any liquid. You eat it with bitter herbs and you eat it with unleavened bread. That's it. And because Christ is our Passover lamb today, you eat it also in remembrance of Christ's sacrifice of what he did as well. So we don't have to do the sacrifice part of it, but we eat the lamb as we are commanded to. And before I forget, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you'll receive a notification every time a new video drops. Here's the other thing you need to know about the Passover. You may be wondering, did Christ keep the Passover? And the answer is yes. Him and the disciples kept the Passover. Luke chapter 2 verse 41. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year for the feast of the Passover. Verse 42. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. So this was a custom, all right? That the Israelites kept this thing every year. And it doesn't change today. Every year means every year. Forever means forever. So how often should you keep it? Forever, until Yahushua the Christ comes back. It's literally that simple. If you want more evidence that Christ kept the Passover, let's go to Matthew chapter 26 and verse 17. Now, the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Verse 18. And he said, Go into the city to such a man and say to him, The master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Christ kept the Passover. The disciples kept the Passover. You should be keeping the Passover. Now, some of you might be wondering, why should I remove the leaven from my house? Why should I remove all of the leavening foods out of my house? Now, I'm not sure if you know, but leaven represents sin. Let's read. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 6. Your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? Verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that you may be a new lump, as you are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. And therefore, removing the leaven out of your homes physically is a spiritual representation of removing the sin out of your lives spiritually. There you have it, the Passover in a nutshell. Why do we celebrate it? Do we have to keep it? Do we have to celebrate it? How do we celebrate it? How do we keep it? So, let us know in the comments below if you and your family are planning to keep Passover this year, and we'll see you on the next one. Shalom.